we prepared all week for both of these teams. Really, the majority of the time was spent preparing for East Carolina. We don't like to overlook anybody, and so we prepared what we needed to prepare for East Carolina. We also knew that Cincinnati, coming off a 5-game match against South Florida, really did give us a lot of information. The one scary information that it gave us was that they're moving and shifting players in a starting position, and they're starting in different rotations. It makes it really hard to try to match up. And so after a while, we just decided we're not going to even bother trying to chase them around. We're just going to go out and throw our best on the floor and just play. And I really thought the most important thing for us was to try to keep their left side hitters in control. You knew their right side, you knew their middle was going to score. And you're going to stop it the best you could. But trying to keep their left side hitters in check, who is really the heart and soul of their offense, and we did that. 1 hit negative and 1 hit zero. And then the one middle, I mean, I give her credit. I mean, she went up and she hit from several different places along the net and had 8 kills and hit 615. We'll take that any day if you're a middle. So she's just a freshman. So we're going to be dealing with her for a long time. But the other one, she only hit 182, and that's the one that jumps probably 10-7, 10-8. I thought we did a great job of defending her. I thought we were in the right spot. I thought our serving game was huge tonight. I think that's really kept them out of system. They didn't have the opportunity to run the offense that they normally can run, because when they run it, it's scary. And I just really think that our serving game, again, 2 matches in a row, bailed us out of a lot of situations. We didn't pass that well. Again, too many aces. We're not going to give up that many aces. We got to get better. But we got a young passing group, and there's still a lot of chemistry. It's a lot like the offensive line. Everybody's got to be in sync for an offensive line to work. Same thing with the passing line. You got to get them all in sync, and that's going to take a while. So in terms of what we did to them, they hit 289 that last set. That was their best set by far. That's what they're capable of doing. And fortunately, we held them pretty low the first 2 sets. But even though they hit 69, they only scored 13 points. So it's just about, where do you manufacture points? We did so with the serve, certainly the aces, and a great transition game. Siding out 60%, 70%, 76%. It's tough to beat anybody who's doing something like that. That's what it felt like playing Georgia Tech and Penn State. It's like every time you look down, you're siding out at 70%. So defensively, we were rock solid on defense. Blocking wise, what can I say? 11 blocks in 3 sets. I couldn't be more complimentary of what we did. And then offensively, to hit 304 against one of our greatest rivals in conference. Led by McKenna's 15, hitting 244, and adding a couple blocks and a couple aces. And I just thought it was we didn't have to depend on anybody this weekend. You don't see anybody taking 50, 60 swings this weekend. McKenna got a little high at 45 because we were out of system so much, and she had what happens is McKenna has to sacrifice her average, her kill percentage, and even errors, because she has to hit out of the back row so much. It's a very low percentage shot. She hits it as well as anybody in the country, but it's still a low percentage shot. So she has to take all the garbage balls. Anything that's not a great pass, McKenna's getting a lot of those balls, and it keeps her average down. Otherwise, she'd be hitting 350, 360, 370 as an outside hitter if we only kept her in that role. But obviously, we needed her to do a lot of different things. So all in all, offense, defense, serve, pass, I just thought, we handled business. I don't think that, I think the scores are misleading. I don't think that we are that much better than Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's an excellent team with great players. And I think we just maybe got them on the second day of a road trip, and maybe that had something to do with it. But I think our execution, our poise, our attitude, I thought that had something to do with it as well.
Yeah, and speaking of attitude, the team just seemed so loose and fun energy even during warm-ups. Do you what kind of mentality did you guys bring beforehand, or is this
Yeah,
just
you
the
know,
team?
it's something that we really leave to them. You know, you allow each team to grow their own personality. You know, the whole loosey-goosey thing is not really my ideal. That's not my style, but it's their team. And they get to choose how they want to be and what gets them calm and relaxed or focused or whatever. And I think when you have a mature team that you know makes good decisions, you let them do it their way. And sometimes one thing you can do as a coach is overcoach them. And I don't want to overcoach them. I want them to just be relaxed, have fun, and then depend on the training that we all gave them.
And each set kind of progressed the same. You guys were kind of point for point battling early, and then you just took off and kind of took control. Is that?
Yeah, I think every
something
set we
clicked?
found ourselves down 4-1, 4-2, something like that. No, it wasn't meant to be that way. I think the beginning of each set there's a little bit of nervousness. You know, they've watched the Cincinnati rivalry, you know, through the recruiting process, and probably just a little bit nervous. But they settled down. I think they calmed down, did their job, passed well enough to set up the set. The setting was phenomenal. Amber just did a great job today, and hitters were putting balls away, especially in transition. So you look at that and you say that's a total team effort all the way across the board. When you do things like that, you can beat just about anybody.
Yeah, and I know we talked about Claudia last game too, but again today, what is she just doing right?
You know, I think she mentioned the word swagger, and that's why we brought her in. She has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder. She kind of wants to put it in your face kind of thing. She doesn't talk like that. She doesn't act like that, but when she plays volleyball, she's trying to play hard. And you know, I think that has come into the team because McKenna's the same way. Now you have more than one player with that attitude, kind of letting everybody know, hey, it's okay to play with a little bit of swagger. You know, it's okay to give somebody an extra glance after you stuff them. And she plays hard. So yeah, now we're talking about 5 or 6 matches. I don't know how many in a row where she's gone out and she's just balled out. You know, her only one error was a tip that she just kind of missed the block and missed it out of bounds. Like we said yesterday or 2 days ago, I think that's her first error, and maybe she has 2 errors in 5 games or something. So I think she's getting comfortable with the team, the environment, the training. She soaks up training like you wouldn't believe. She just craves it. And I think that's one thing she feels like maybe she was missing that she's getting now is attention from 3 different coaches reinforcing the good things and making adjustment on the not so good things. But again, we talked about her health, and the health of her ankle has been a big part of it. She's absolutely 100% back over the last 5 matches. And she's such a mature presence in the locker room. Just, you know, she really helps McKenna and the council, the leadership council, manage the team. So you just trust her. You trust that she's a competitor. You trust that you're going to get the best out of her. You trust that when she's not doing well, she's going to say, hey, I'm just not doing well here. And she'll make a sub. But, you know, as long as she keeps cruising like this, she's certainly having an All-American type year.
Yeah. And you kind of brought it up earlier about everyone contributing again today. Is that something you're really focused on to
We have to.
keep?
If we don't have at least 3 people contributing to the lineup, then we need to add hitters. If we add hitters, that means we have to take away back row passers. If we take away back row passers, then we're going to struggle at serve receive. So there's a lot of things that are really important, that we have a good distribution in the offense where teams can't just hone in on 1 or 2 things per rotation. I mean, in every rotation, we can do a lot of different things, so they have to sit neutral. But having the ball control in the setting forces that to happen. You know, we don't know if we're going to end up in a 5-1 or a 6-2, but as long as we're handling the ball and getting the kills that we need from different places, you know, it's nice having one setter and just one tempo and one voice, and that's a good thing. But I still think we're probably a more offensive team in a 6-2, but I also think there's a little bit more disruption in a 6-2, and you're changing setters and cadences, and it's like running 2 different quarterbacks in and out the whole time. So we're going to see if we can just stabilize at a 5-1 for a little while. But it's certainly nice to know that we've got Mackenzie and Emily ready to go, and we've won big matches with them on the court. So we're gonna do it again. There's gonna be some point where we're gonna have to, where the 2-hitter system just isn't working. We have to bring in 3.
And I believe are on a 4-game winning sweep. You won this. Wow.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, and you swept this weekend. What does that mean to you and the team overall?
It means that we were 1-0 5 minutes ago, and now the minute I walk out this door, we're 0-0 again. I know it makes for great writing and great sports information when you can get a coach to talk about that, but we've made our success based on just focusing on right now. So this is a match that we watched some film on, and at midnight, when the clock strikes 12, that's it. And we're moved on. That's how it works around here.